So life circumstances, things are always going to happen around us and to us. But everything is really a result of the decisions we make. Welcome to another episode of Mo or Less, where we give you more out of life so you can live the most in life and not leave here with nothing to chance, not leave here with your least, with your less. We're going to make this your best year possible. Thank you guys for joining in and subscribing. Today, I'm going to do a 2-part episode of making the change. This episode, we're going to focus on what I call the 3 Ds of transformation. And as always, I like to jump right into it. The 3 Ds are decision, discipline, and depression, right? But not in that specific order. So the reason why I picked those 3 Ds is because when it comes to the process of transformation, these are the 3 things that are all working at the same time. You're like, okay, how does depression fit with discipline? Discipline could be interchanged with determination, either or. Those are interchangeable for the D, and then the decision, right? So let's start with the very beginning. When it comes to making a transition, when it comes to transforming your life, you have to first decide and come to the realization that you're not where you want to be, and there's a goal, there's something in particular, a place that you want to get to. That is the decision. What is your decision? Where you are right now, you can look at your health, for example. Look at your health right now. Is your health where you want to be? If the answer is yes, then you have a decision to make. Are you going to continue to do that? Are you going to improve it? Or are you going to switch it up? If your health is not where you want it to be, you have another decision to make. Are you going to keep living the life you're currently living? Or are you going to decide that it's time to transform? I'm going to go with the latter, right? That's what we're here for. We're here to shift your mind. We're here to make that change. So you have to really take an introspective look and decide, why am I not even doing the thing that I want to do? And what's going to change about me? And that decision is the biggest, the hardest step. It's deciding that you need to change. Because we can easily blame the system. We can easily blame this person or that person. We can blame our past. We can blame our trauma. We can blame the situation, our circumstances, everything under the sun, instead of taking accountability for our own actions. But when you decide, first and foremost, that you are the cause of your problem, and it's your decision to make the change, you have more power in your decision making. When you stop blaming everything else, who else, and start realizing that everything in life is a result of the decisions that you made. Whether you realize it or not, we are where we are because we decided to be there. People say, oh, I have this depression, I have this place in life, I'm in this place in my life because of so-and-so spoke this over me, my parents spoke this over me, this bully got to me. You decided to believe what they said about you. Some people decide not to take those words, and they do and go to be great things. They go on to be great things, rather. I'm sorry. And so it is your choice to either take in what people say about you and live in that, or do the opposite. Break free, break the chains, and be more than what they expect you to be. You hear testimonies all the time. You hear the story about the kid that grows up to be just like their parent. The parent was abusive, so they become abusive. The parent was an alcoholic, so they become alcoholic. Then you hear the stories about the parent was abusive, so they became the total opposite. Their parent was an alcoholic, so they became the total opposite. They never drank in their life. Like, the choice is yours. The choice has always been yours. Even though certain situations happen to you, because here's the other curveball you're going to throw at me. I had this traumatic experience. I was raped when I was a child. I was molested when I was a child. I lost my parents when I was a child, and it just drove me to this. You had no control over the situation that put you in that place. But how you respond to that situation is your choice. how you respond to that situation is your choice. And yes, it is easier said than done. But like I said, it goes back to the two types of people. It's the people that succumb because of what happened, and there's the people that overcome because of what happened. And the decision is always yours. You can go through a traumatic experience. You can go through something that just rocked your world. And you can decide how you want to live after that moment. Like, whatever happens to you, things happen to you, but how you respond to those things are your decision. Someone can call you out of your name, be super disrespectful, and you can, get into a confrontation. You can lash back out. You can do whatever. Or you can decide to be the bigger person and walk away. Right? The decision and everything in your life is yours, regardless of what happens to you, right? Like, you can decide your faith walk. I decided to follow Jesus Christ, and I live my life according to his word. I decided to do that, and my life is shaping up as a result of my decision. Your life is a result of the decisions you made. And yes, there is a difference between things happening to you. Like, you're driving on the road and the person next to you, they can't drive, causes a car accident. That was not your fault, but you survived that car accident. Are you going to stop driving, or are you going to get back in the driver's seat, overcome that fear, and get back to driving again? So life circumstances, things are always going to happen around us and to us. But everything is really a result of the decisions we make. Which leads me to number 2. When you're making a transformation, you will have a time of depression. Your body, your mindset is going to depress because you're changing. Your mentality is shifting, and so old thoughts are going to come back and try to wreck you. And it's not going to be a long season. It might happen for a week. It might happen for a small amount of time, but you have to endure that time of depression, and you have to own up to it. I'm telling you, it's going to come. To deny that it's going to happen is really ignorant to deny that's going to happen. Because let's talk about dieting again, right? You go from eating whatever you want to eating clean, eating healthy, especially if you're doing a detox to cleanse. Your body is literally going to respond and react, and you're going to feel overwhelmed. Your body's going to say, okay, whoa, what is this? What is happening? What is going on? And from that, you're going to feel a weightiness, a heaviness. Something in you is going to say, I need to go back to what I was doing, because like in the Bible, the Egyptians, like, we were fed better. Even though we were slaves, we were better over here, because they didn't understand the process. They felt depressed. They felt overwhelmed because they didn't understand the process. They didn't really see the vision of what was to come. But those that did see the vision held strong and pushed forward. So you don't want to go back to that slavery. You don't want to go back to that old way of lifestyle, that old way of suffering. Just because you were comfortable there does not mean it was good for you, because that comfort is going to be your demise. That place of comfort will be your demise if there's better for you out there, especially when we're talking about health. And I'm just using health as an example, but it could be your mindset. It could be how you treat your loved ones, your spouse, your children. It could be your performance in your job. It could be starting a business. Whatever you want to insert for your transformation, it starts with the decision. And then you have to accept the reality that there's going to be a season of depression. In business, there's going to be a time when you're working your butt off and you're not going to see a dime. You're going to invest so much money in your business, you're not going to see a dime. But if you keep going, you will see the fruit of it. So you have to embrace that. You have to understand. And that's why I put depression right in the middle, because, and you can call it oppression, you can call it depression, you can call it whatever you want to call it. You can put your own word in this part of the transformation, but there is going to be a part in your transformation where it's going to be hard. It's going to be the hardest part. The consistency, right? You're going to go to the gym for 4 days, and then you're going to take a day off, and you're going to feel like, man, I do not want to go back to the gym next week. And that's where the most crucial part comes in, is the discipline. The discipline is the most crucial D. It's the biggest D in the process of transformation. Because once you decide and make that transformation, discipline is going to keep you on track. Discipline is going to get you to your goal. Discipline is going to cut through that depression time. It's going to cut that depression time down in half. It's going to make it even almost obsolete. Again, you're going to have that depression season. You're going to have that time where you're feeling overwhelmed, where you want to give in. But I encourage you to stay the course. I encourage you to press through and be disciplined. And here are some key things that you can do to stay disciplined in your transformational journey. Set small, attainable, achievable goals. Like making sure you eat one serving of vegetable a day. Make sure you work out 15 minutes minimum a day. Little goals that you have no excuse not to do. If you're starting a business, make sure you write one business plan a day. Make sure you tell one person about your business a day. Just go online, make a post, whatever it is. Do those little mile markers. Do those little mile markers, those little measures that's going to get you past that season, that's going to get you past that depression, it's going to get you past that weightiness. Because what happens is, at the end of the road, it's going to become a lifestyle. And with the discipline, with the overcoming of the depression, whenever you feel that weightiness, that hardiness, you're going to tap back into that time you figured it out and overcame. I'm a strong believer that once you figure it out, you're going to always be able to figure it out. But if you always cave in that season of depression, you will always cave in at that season of depression. You will always get in that routine. Okay, yeah, I'm going to get on my business now. And then after a couple weeks, you go back to doing nothing. Yeah, I'm going to get on my content creation now. I'm going to crush it. And then after a couple weeks, you're going to post nothing. Yeah, I'm going to get on my diet now. You're going to do good for a week and then stop. Yeah, I'm going to do blah, 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 blah. Then you're going to stop. And then you're going to have to start all the way over instead of staying consistent, pressing through, getting over that hard time and keeping it going. That depression time is going to be very weighty. It's going to be the most difficult thing. But once you get to the other side, once that discipline kicks in, once you see the promised land of your work, and it really, scientifically, they say it takes 21 days. I say it just takes a leap of faith. But once you walk through that time where it becomes routine, it becomes your life, it becomes automatic. When you look back, you're going to be like, I'm so glad I shifted. I'm so glad I changed my mind. Because what can happen again, too, is if you don't stay disciplined, a month is going to go by, a year is going to go by. You're going to be looking at the age you are right now, and you're going to be like, why didn't I stick with it? Why didn't I see it through? Why did I allow life to hold me back? The decision is yours. You decide today to press forward, to go forward, and to do that thing that you have been putting off. That transformation, getting your mind, getting your health right, getting everything about your life right. It is your decision. So I ask you, will you decide today to 1, transform your life, 2, accept that a hard time will come. You will feel a season of depression or oppression. And will you commit to being disciplined? Setting those small attainable goals is what's going to allow you to see yourself through the hardest time, to see yourself through that difficult transition. But the reward is going to be so great. And I'm going to give you guys a bonus here. The other thing you can do is hold yourself accountable by telling others. If you're disciplined, tell people you're going to commit to it, because they're going to call you out on your mess. They're going to say, oh, I thought you was locked in. What happened? Or they're going to keep you encouraged. Oh, I see you. When you tell people, know what they're going to do? I see you making your post. Keep making your post. I'm loving what you're doing. Keep up the good work. I see your fitness journey. Wow, the transformation is amazing. Keep going. Oh, I see that you've been doing your diet thing. Can you give me some tips? That's what's going to happen. When you have that community and you make yourself accountable to that community and you hold yourself accountable, that's going to stimulate the journey. That's going to enlighten. That's going to set fire to that journey, because you're going to have your people supporting you. So when you go live and say, hey, I don't feel it today, I got to push extra today. They're going to say, you know what? I got you. Let me encourage you today. Let me push you today. Let me get on your back today. Let me hop in your corner today and lift you up. And you're going to push through. So again, for your transformational journey, understand that you first have to make the decision to change your life. Stop blaming everybody else around you. Stop blaming all the situations around you. Stop blaming the president. Stop blaming your parents. Stop blaming everybody else. It is your decision. And understand that once you make that decision, hard times is going to come. When I gave my life to Jesus, there was hard times. There was temptation. There was a lot. And I'm gonna be just as transparent as any other person. I did not do well in my first couple of years of walking with Christ. I was still sinning. I'm not saying we all fall short still. We all fall short of the glory. But I'm telling you, back then, that journey was hard. But I decided to stick with it. God gave me grace, showed me mercy. And because I made a decision to stay consistent, I am a living, breathing witness of what God can do, how God can transform a life. Right? Y'all don't even know my whole story. It's going to come out in this podcast though. But even the more so, you got to stay disciplined. You got to stay disciplined. I've been a business owner for 10 years and I'm just now seeing the fruit of it. I'm just now seeing the residuals of it. After 10 years being on and off, stopping and starting over again, trying this venture out, going this different route. But now that I picked the lane that I like and staying consistent with it, I'm seeing the fruit. Because I stay consistent and I'm staying focused on the lane, on the target, on the one thing. So stay disciplined, y'all. Stay disciplined. Stay consistent. If you haven't already heard it, go back and listen to my podcast on consistency is key. And then I'll catch you on part 2 of making the change. Catch you next time on More or Less. Let's go.